All right, as we go into this one, I'm just really coming out of last week. I'm just really proud of this team and the way that they bounced back from the previous week from a for us what was a not a horrible but lackluster performance the previous week that had controversy surrounding it and everything. They really got on the right page and finished strong, and that's what we needed. I think you asked me last week, did we need that meet? And I think the answer is unequivocally yes, that we needed exactly what happened in there on Friday night. And I'm just very proud of this team. I think we've been through a lot this year, injury, illness, setbacks, canceled meets, some of it seen, some of it unseen. I think there's a lot of teams around the country in any sport that would have folded their tents, but these kids didn't. And I'm just really proud of these young women and the love that they have for each other and the persistence and the resiliency that they've shown all year long. And now they've put themselves in a situation to be on the precipice of being able to do something really, really great. And we're in a good position. We're in a great rotation for ourselves as we go to SECs. We know that those are tough teams out there, but we've seen them all year long, and so I think we're battle tested, and we should be able to go in there with a great deal of confidence and with kind of a calm, resolute confidence that they've shown at various times this year.
Scott had 100 of them. How do you replicate that energy? And do you feel like it was the energy of the moment, or do you feel like your team kind of had a breakthrough?
Well, I don't I don't know how you know those things. I feel like that what we saw Friday night is the true character of this team. They've rallied around each other in so many ways this year, and like I said, some of it seen, some of it unseen. Some of the things that we've wrestled with have not been out in the public for public display, but they're things that are that have caused us to grow. I feel like it was a great, genuine energy. I think it was. I think it was the first time that we'd really, even though we'd had other great meets this year for sure. I think that was the first time we'd seen that level of sustained ability to finish, um, and it couldn't have come at a better time. So my hope is that that's where we are. I think that is where we are from what I've seen so far since we've had that meet in practice. There's a great deal of energy and a great deal of enthusiasm amongst our group right now. We are optimistic that we will be able to put a really strong lineup out there on Saturday. Yeah.
Okay, there's the lineup you want to put out there, and there's what you think you're going to put out there. I
Well,
mean, who can Kai and Haley both do all
yeah.
around? How
Right
many events
now,
can Alona do?
yeah.
Can
Okay.
Kai come back? She performed the other day.
Right. There's
Yeah, I have a
always
bunch of questions.
there's always a lineup there's always more people that you wish you had available in different things. But the answer as far as Kai goes is right now we're focused on balance beam with her. We don't anticipate getting her back on anything else. That being said, it does appear that Kaya will be able to move forward, and we anticipate doing all four events with her. Um, if we don't, we've already shown the ability to score well in the floor situation, so it's not something that is that is an absolute must. But it certainly, if she's in a good place and is doing well, we all know that that's one of our best six floor routines. Um, Haley is feeling good at last check. She came out of that meet unscathed for the most part. We still battle with Sarah Edwards' legs and foot. So we've got all these things that are there, but it does appear that we're in a place where, based on today, as I sit in front of you right now, that we'll be able to put the lineup that we would like to have based on who's available out there Saturday. That's a little more specific for you. I hate, I feel like I just feel like every time I tell y'all one thing, it changes the next day. Something gives. So I don't want to box myself in and have everybody wonder why.
Okay, between now and Saturday, what do you have left to do in terms of practice or an inter squad, or what do you do? And is it less? Is it a little less than what you have done in the past? Because like I said, they don't have to prove themselves as much.
Yeah, I think this time of year for everybody, probably less is more a little bit. In terms of just numbers and the physical workload that we put on them, because it's a long year, and we should be in kind of maintenance mode. So we've gone fairly light. We went and came in Sunday and watched video and had our meetings and got a good stretch and some conditioning done. And then the people that did not compete certain events got to train on Sunday. And then yesterday we had everybody participating at some level, but not everybody did all their events, just trying to give them a little extra rest. And we'll come in tomorrow, and we're going to do kind of like an inter-squad plus, meaning that if necessary, we can do a little extra work on that Wednesday because we have the podium training on Friday when we get over there. So we're kind of moving into this day on, day off, day on, day off pattern that you see in the postseason when we go to regionals and nationals, and trying to get them accustomed to that, what that feels like. Doesn't mean that on that day off we're not moving them around and getting their bodies moving, but it means that the gymnastics will be either none or extremely limited on those days off.
A couple of them. Sarah's performance on floor, what was the difference in that?
Well, the difference was Sarah's gutsy, man. She's done good floor routines in the past, but those landings and that leap series, everything was just kind of dialed in a little bit better than we've seen it over the years. And she was just kind of in a zone. And I think our team knew that we prepped them before the meet. I kind of knew that coming out of two events, if both teams did their job, we might be up by a tenth. But that they were heavy hitters on floor, and especially beam. Utah may be the best beam team in the country, and they. We knew we had to maintain that and try to stretch that lead a little bit in the third rotation. And as it turned out, what we left the third rotation with was what we won by, because we had to go, routine by routine with them on beam. Our floor and their beam stayed right there together. I think we had identical scores on the final rotation. So I just think she was dialed in. I think the whole team was dialed in on floor. That was maybe one of the best final rotations you could ever hope for, to whether it's in the PMAC or anywhere else. When you got two really good teams kind of just going blow to blow like that, it was a lot of fun to watch. It's a lot more fun to watch after it than it is to live in it, but it was fun.
Young Brandon Barrios just informed us that KJ is the specialist of the week in the SEC. So, what? Oh, all right. Well, scratch that question then.
Yeah. Well, Kaya Johnson.
Kaya's great.
Yeah, Kaya is specialist of the week again, and around here we all we think of her, as an all-arounder, but when you're doing three events, I guess that's the category you get put in as specialist. So, but congratulations to her. Anytime we get those weekly awards, it's awesome in this league, because you see the scores that are going in this league, and 5 of the top 10 teams are in the SEC, and anytime any of our young women get those awards, it's something that they've earned for sure.
The SEC championship meet. How do you look at it? What do you want out of it? Those kinds of things.
Well, in some ways, the SEC championship is it's at least a precursor to the national championship, but in some ways it's more difficult. It's a one-day, one-shot deal. It's the rivalries are intense. It's when we get out there, 4 of the top 10 teams will be on the floor with us at the same time. As far as I'm concerned, it's the marquee event of the season for our sport. I understand the national championship has more weight, but for our schools and the passion that's in this league, it's a big deal, and it's something that is on our bullet point board at the beginning of every year. This is something that we want to win. We want to contend for and win both the regular season and the Southeastern Conference Championship meet. And so it's a big thing. I know our kids are excited about it. They last year we lost by a tenth by our own doing in some ways, stepping out of bounds twice, and I know that they're hungry. They're just hungry for this, and I think they're believing. I think the last couple of weeks have gone a long way towards solidifying that belief system and putting them in a place where they believe they can go out there and get it done.
Kind of random, but I guess going off of that, how do you mentally prepare your athletes for meets in general?
Well, we have messaging, but a lot of that is determined by them. In the fall, we spend a lot of time deciding who we are and what our core values are and what is it that we want to accomplish that are not so result oriented, but what are the things that they want to define this team, and a lot of the conversations in the fall centered around wanting to leave a legacy, knowing that there's been some good things that have happened here in recent years, but wanting to leave a legacy behind that the next group can feed off of. That was one thing. And the other thing is, you can hear it in our theme this year. They wanted to be more present. They wanted to be not thinking too far down the road. So our theme this year has been here and now. And it's been something that we have to hearken back to and remind ourselves of all the time, because it's easy to get ahead of yourself or to focus on something that's happened in the past. And so it's something that we all have to work on. It's something we're very intentional about. And I think while we can always do a better job at everything we do, I think our team has done a good job of trying to be present and staying here and now. And I think that's really what is going to keep them in the best mental place possible. Look, as I've said before, you go into these kind of competitions, it comes down to the little things. It comes down to handstands. It comes down to landings. It comes down to, as another great coach told me once, the stars just have to line up. And so we know that we're going in there with great teams on the floor. We have tons of respect for our competitors, but we also are a confident group, and we also feel like we can go in there with a really good, calm assurance that we're going to do a good job.
First time on a podium, I assume, this season.
It'll be the first time this season, and that's my phone. First time this season that we will. Let's wait. First time this season we'll be on the podium, and it's a little different. It's actually more forgiving on their bodies because it's raised, and there's a little more bounce when you're on that podium.
That seems like the opposite, I guess.
Well, it's not so bad in an arena like ours where we're on top of a basketball floor, but a lot of places we go, we're on top of concrete, and that really can change the way the equipment feels. And so getting on the podium is nice. It's something that they look forward to. I don't think we'll have much trouble adjusting to it. We'll go in there Friday and do our podium training, and they'll get to work out the kinks, whether they need to back their run up or move it forward a little bit for vault and floor. But most of the time, getting on a podium is a good thing. No, I don't. The podiums are pretty sturdy. I mean, they're very the newer podiums, and the ones that we have at these championship level meets are great podiums. There's really not much. There's not much downside to being on a podium.
Never seen an equipment failure at a podium.
I'm
kidding. I'm not asking. I'm not asking you that.
Yeah.
When I looked at that podium, I kind of banged. I said, "No, man, that's pretty solid."
Yeah, don't speak all that juju on us, man.
You guys, DD certainly, since you've been here, y'all pushed for the regular season championship to be established. Since it has been, does this mean the same thing?
Yeah.
Now there's two championships in there. One, obviously, it's great to win that title. Y'all won that one too. But what has anything changed? You've been here long before in this conference, long before they had it. Does it still mean the same thing?
I think it absolutely means the same thing. It's the only time that we get on the floor with the same judges, same time on a neutral floor. It absolutely means the same thing. We pushed, and everybody is a benefactor of having a regular season championship, because in so many ways in our sport, as we've talked about over and over, win loss doesn't matter. But we wanted it to matter for something in our league, and that's why we pushed for that. And I think it's good. It adds intrigue and adds excitement to the regular season, and it gives more motivation to be prepared to start the season. There's a lot of teams in the country that you see aren't prepared to start the season, and then they come on late, and we only count 50% of what we do in the regular season for our postseason. So it just added some value to the regular season. I think this meet is every bit at least as equal, if not more, than the regular season.